Today what they're doing here is a parkour session, of course, and we really wanted to stress the importance of being all together and working on an emotional layer and not just a rational layer. Trying to bring back some gains, are trying to bring back some narratives into what they're doing, and basically without realizing it, they are working on a layer that is not super clear to them, it's not rational, it goes into an emotional layer, as I said, and yeah, it allows better development. Because we are not robots and we don't learn by isolating a pattern and repeating over and over again. We need to solve problems, learn how to do it. We need to train in a task-oriented way. So if we play games, if we get back to our child origins, I think it's the best way that we have as humans to develop ourselves and to grow. We are complex individuals. And we work on many different layers, not just on one. And we have chemicals in our bodies. We use affordances in the space to move around, to look, to experience. And this changes us. This changes the way we approach to things. We are actually practicing a different thing than, like, for example, just sprinting if we are running towards somebody that is hiding. Something's changing inside us. So every time, let's think and start to reintroduce these things inside our trainings, because it will definitely influence positively everything that we do, the growth that we have as practitioners.
There is a catastrophic bleed going on right now. How do you approach a situation? Let's have a look. First thing I'm going to do, I'm looking at him. Is he alive? I don't need to worry about airway because he has a catastrophic bleed going on. First thing you want to do is you want to apply pressure. So if it's a piece of cloth, I put a piece of cloth. Fortunately, I have a fantastic bunch of kit here, and I will use the gauze. Okay, that's it, simple. There we go. I place that there. Now, the important thing here is to apply enough pressure so that the bleeding, coagulation, so clotting, is promoted, but at the same time to allow the blood pressure in other areas to allow perfusion of his arms. There we are. So we've got the bulk there. You've thought about the bulk. You've thought about the bandage going all the way around, and you've twisted it a couple of times when you've got to this point, and that is a pressure bandage.
Avoidance, #1 strategy for martial arts and self-defense. Okay, so the first thing you should learn to do is run 100 yards very quickly in the opposite direction. And if you have that opportunity, take that every single time. Okay? Evasion, parkour comes into that, doesn't it? Being able to move around your environment to be able to outpace or get away from potential attackers. But if Dan is somebody who I'm not been able to avoid, I can't evade, and it looks like they're going to be getting aggressive with me, the very first thing that we want to be doing is controlling center space. So I'm just going to bring my hands up into a non-violent posture, and this is the universal symbol for please don't hurt me and I don't want to hurt you. Whereas if I do this, it looks very different, or this, different again.
All I was doing was
Fuck off! Come on! What's the problem, man? Just move out of my way.
It's this first movement, it's called an index palm, because my palm is indexing onto him, but it's staying there. So it's time on target, okay? The reason I'm doing that is I want you to think of this no longer as a hand, but that creature from Aliens. You know that? No. That's what this is now. So you're talking, when you decide you're going to go, you palm in, and you keep it there whilst you chamber this hand, and this hand drives in to where that hand is, and you just pull it out of the way at the last minute. So we're going to add to this in a moment, but we're going to begin with index palm, and then this hand comes, palms in. Just twisting the hip, sinking down a little bit from here. So I'm still ready for the next movement. So to practice this, so last time, non-violent posture, flinch, pose, hand, washing up with the Brillo pad, control the descent, just because he's our friend, help him up, switch over.
pair up. So if Kevin is my partner, the way Kevin's going to be going up and I'm going to be just hindering his movement, kind of just being like a small gremlin in your ear. Okay, so I want you to continuously developing new ways of going up. You can go any way up. You just can't go the same way each time.
Somebody rebuild the wall and then. Let's go.
I'm ready!
So next part, you're gonna team up into groups of 3 this time. You need to work together as a team to try to prevent the third person from getting up. So this group is doing a challenge where they have one person going up, ascending, and 2 people trying to defend by setting a pick. So staying stopped in a particular place. They can move as the attacker goes up. The person that's going up is trying to go as quickly as they can, which requires a huge amount of confidence to go up. It also includes physical contact, which I realize a lot of parkour people don't necessarily get in our regular day-to-day training. It's an important part of just being a human and having human interactions, but also in terms of navigating our environment. Notice that we say hello like this, which is automatically a big kind of shock to people if you've met people today, and you like go in to grab their forearm and they're like, why are you grabbing my forearm? As opposed to doing like the very floppy fish or that handshake. That's something that's to us is natural, and that kind of ability to kind of connect is really important. So I'd encourage you to bring this training to your communities, and also to kind of build it into your own training.
Today, basically we're gonna work on creating body tension, okay? But body tension is just not gonna be there unless we need it. So the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna carry people, but not just one person, 2, 3, 4, however you can. This was one of the main ways to train a long time ago. And nobody was squatting with the barbell. Those tools were not there, but they were carrying stuff and they were getting super strong.
Time the first time through. Good.
So at the moment, the spot that we're working in, it's a very, very small little area. And we're working really with the theme of response. So in a small area, the practitioner can respond to those surroundings and constantly come up with different and varied drills that will allow you to further your practice, but also it's very much a response to the area that you're in. So rather than going out to find a place with a specific intent, you may find a place and then develop the intent through the architecture.
Galileo Figaro. Poor boy, nobody loves me. He's just a poor boy from a poor family, sparing his life from this monstrosity.
Get him here, here, here. Yeah, this is okay. If it's only a short distance, that's okay. But dragging is really hard work. So, one down, pick up someone who's roughly your size.
To the helicopter. Lovely.
So, for this one, I literally lie on him, I mirror him, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
And I take this arm over me, okay? So I hook this leg, yeah? Boom. And I'm basically gonna roll over and drag him with me onto my back, okay? This is ugly, but he's just relaxed, he's totally dead weight. I can from here, I can reposition myself. If I can get here, I'm good, yeah? From here, I post up, I go, yeah? If I get here, I'm good. So it doesn't matter if I start. He's down again.
I'm dead.
It doesn't matter
I'm really dead.
if I start in an ugly position.
I'm more dead.
This I can use my body weight, okay? I have to lie on him. Look. And I'm just gonna pull. It doesn't matter if it's ugly. It doesn't matter. If it works. I'm here. And I can go. Yes. So here we're looking at evacuating people who've been injured and maybe are unconscious, and you need to pick them up off the floor and carry them either to medical aid or to get them out of danger, out of the road, something like that. It's very difficult picking up a full-grown adult who's unconscious. Their body's basically a 70, 80 kilo bag of jelly. So we're looking at different ways to use their body weight, manipulate a bit of momentum in some of them to get them so they're stacked above you. You can stand up and fire them and carry them to a safe place. These techniques take time to get right. If you get them right, it's really useful, and you can actually quite easily pick a big person up, even bigger than you, and off you go. So basic skills, but really useful skills. And this is, the strong to be useful element is this is where you learn those key bits that make your strength really useful.
Pain and discomfort is going to take him to the ground.
Basically, we're just trying to feed our brain as much data as possible in these scenarios. Just taking something that's relatively simple, adding complexity by changing the angle, changing the surface, changing the approach, giving our brain all this data so that anytime we come up to a new situation, every time our brain comes to a new situation, it's going back in the archive and saying, okay, what do I have that I can compare this to?
Come on, guys. 10, 9.
The whole idea that sort of be strong to be useful and taking those concepts a little bit further, and not just being able to jump far and do muscle ups, that's cool, yes. But at the end of the day, can we be useful to other people? Can we be helpful to other people? That for us is the most important element of parkour. So we're really happy to have themed the event around that, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it. So we really like to hugely thank all the coaches who have run all the amazing sessions. Thank you to you guys for coming and training so hard.